who will start presenting her topic entitled Challenges in the Digital Age, Writing by Hand to Boost Brain Connectivity and Achieve Second Language Acquisition. It's our pleasure to have you among us, Dr. Irene. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm here and it's a pleasure for me to be here to share with you. First of all, I want to congratulate for this great conference organized by Professor Fatima Belkihir from the University of Tleklem in Algeria. I think it's great you had this kind of conference in order all the youth around the world, we can share. Today, my contribution to this conference pretends to be a brief morning theoretical fundamentation. Why a theoretical fundamentation is really general? Because I'm from the Department of Educational Theory, and I think it's important to share also convictions, reflections, and concerns about why writing by hand in the context of second language acquisition. So this is my general idea. It's going to be really brief, and then we will provide time to share or ask questions. Here you don't see any test, but I think it's important we see the pictures and how over the time we have changed a lot the approach to process of writing. From the past, writing by hand, then with a pen, and then move to a machine of writing, then a machine more sophisticated. And right now we have a big challenge at the schools, which is like the robots write for us. No, we just give an order, we give a clue, and what happened is not the students, it's not you, or it's not us who write, it's just the robots who write for us. This is a concern we have all around the world. Which is the reality? Well, according to the United Nations Agency for Digital Technologies, and this is based on last year, the 68% of the world's population, which means 5.5 billion people, are online and connected to a keyboard, even little kids, to produce writing documents or to do something different like carry out transactions and search for information, etc., etc. And we cannot stop the transition to digital. I think, I'm sure you too, digital media have become permanent in our daily lives, at home, at school, in the bus, in all the places. And many experts, and also I'm an expert in education, wonder what will happen to handwriting in the midst of the new technologies. And these kind of questions I write here in the presentation is for you too. I would like you write the questions and then you start thinking or reflecting about them, because I think it's important to provide a foundation for what we do at the school. Teachers, professors at the school, at university, I think we have to recover handwriting with our hands as a practice because I think it's in danger of extinction, no? Like some of the animals. And we have to recover that because the digital is there, we need it, provide a lot of tools, but it can be a problem for us. Some of my initial thoughts for you, in order that you start waking up and thinking, is where are we? These kind of philosophical questions that give us sense about our practices. It's not about going back to the quill pen, no, like in the picture before, not to the past. And nor is about rejecting technology. We cannot reject technology. But artificial intelligence is here to stay, I'm sure. And its widespread use in language is a fact. And I have two more questions for you. What attitude will we humans take toward this tool? Will we use it to replace our efforts, or we can use it to improve our skills? I think it's clear, but think about it. And also another question for you is how do we teachers, professors, if you are in elementary school, high school, or even right now I'm at university, deal with this situation? What happened to students? They don't want to write. Are the robots who write for them? And it's a big problem. Well, what should we keep in mind as a teachers? I think this is important for you. This is important and is based in psychology, it's based on research on pedagogy. I'm a pedagogue, I'm a teacher, an elementary teacher, and I have been teaching at the school for more than 20 years in different contexts. And right now I'm a professor at university, but I keep teaching students from different ages at university. Handwriting activates complex brain processes, which is really important, and strengthens fundamental skills for learning and cognitive development. This is based on different studies. I provide here at the end of the slide one of the more recent researches. And some of the benefits, because I think it's important to know why we should provide school time and activities by handwriting. Some of the benefits are memory, work of the memory, fine motor control, about hand, eye and hand coordination, which is really important, planning, the idea of planning in our minds what we want to say, what we write to write, is important, in order to planify. And self-regulation, because sometimes we think something, we want to write it, but we self-control what we want to write. Also in adults, handwriting prevents cognitive decline. And therefore, it is essential to understand that this practice must continue to be incorporated into the classroom and should not be completely replaced by technology. I know we all want to incorporate technologies, tablets, mobiles, and a lot of resources. They are great, attractive to write in a second language, but we have to pay attention because we are forgetting the importance of writing by hand. Practice must continue to be incorporated into the classroom and should not be completely replaced by technology. I know we all want to incorporate technologies, tablets, mobiles, and a lot of resources. They are great, attractive to write in a second language, but we have to pay attention because we are forgetting the importance of writing by hand. Well, in this slide, I want to give you more research. Why handwriting in the second language acquisition? I think it's important. One of the reasons is better retention. I just write some of the studies because I cannot provide a lot of them, but if you ask me for more, I will give to the directors the presentations, and I will give you more references. 2022 study by the University of Tokyo showed that students who wrote vocabulary by hand remembered 30% more words after a week compared to those who only type it on a computer, which is important. Better retention. Then the second one, deeper understanding. When writing, the brain processes information more deeply, in the surface, which helps to better understand the structure of another language, English, French, or whatever. The third reason is increased creativity. We don't have to forget that creativity is a competence we have to promote at schools because it's something we need to live in a moment which everything is complicated, really complex. Handwriting stimulates creativity, allowing to form unique connections, making connections in our brain between words, concepts in the new language, which is really important. And one more, the fourth, improve pronunciation in another language, because the physical act of writing by hand can help to pronounce words better. One of the studies by the Nation University of Colombia in 2023, which means 2 years ago, found that students who practice handwriting had clearer and more natural pronunciation, which is great. The phonics. More advantages of writing in the second language for acquire the language. When learning a new language, science suggests that we have to go back to the past, no? Which is, I think, important. Using pen and paper, no? This is something we are forget, because offers cognitive advantages that I said before that a keyboard simply cannot replicate. Recent research in neuroscience, which is important, and educational psychology has shown that the physical act of writing by hand creates a much deeper memory trace. And here are some of the findings. I just provide 2 or 3 because I don't have more time. The first one is really important. Activation of complex neural circuits. Handwriting is not just a motor process. It is an exercise. It's like a gymnasia. Gym is like going to the gym in sensory motor integration. Neuroimaging studies, such as the one by Karen James in 2012 at Indiana University in the United States, showed that handwriting activates 3 areas of the brain: the left fusiform gyrus, the inferior frontal gyrus, and the posterior parietal cortex. We are not experts in biology, but we have to connect biology with education, with the teaching practices. Which one is the impact on the second language? These 3 areas of the brain are the same involving the language and reading. When writing letters or characters in a new language, the brain learns the shape, not only visually, but also through movement, which facilitates future recognition of those words. The second good thing is the effect of higher coding. Another study by Moller and Oppenheimer in 2014 revealed that although those who take more notes, probably it's faster, those who write by hand process information more deeply. Again, which one is the impact on second language? When you write by hand, you can write down every word you hear. Probably it's too slow, but this forces your brain to synthesize, summarize, and rephrase the information in the language you are learning. It's a double exercise. That extra mental effort is what fixes vocabulary in long-term memory, which is important. It's like the go to the down. And one more is learning new alphabets, what we call graphesthesia. For languages with no Latin writing system, like yours, Arabic, Japanese, or Mandarin with different characters, handwriting is practically irrepressible. And we cannot avoid this. The brain develops a motor memory of the letter. Knowing how it feels to trace a letter N helps to identify it visually more accurately than just pressing a key. It's like the calligraphy. Well, here, I'm not going to read it all, but I present one of these studies or research done in 2021 by 2 professors at Johns Hopkins University in the United States. Based on the research, they confirmed that the brain prefers pencils to keyboards. Why? They did a study with 42 people who were learning Arabic alphabet. And they divided into 3 groups. One of the groups wrote by hand, another one typed it at the computer, and another watched just videos. After 6 sessions, they proved that the ones who recognized the letter were the group that wrote by hand and achieved the skill of recognizing the letters better than the other ones, which means that writing by hand provides a perceptual, more motor experience that enriches knowledge and creates more comprehensive learning. I think it's important. This study is true, they were done with adults, but the authors keep working with children. And what they say is, or they reaffirm the importance of writing to learn new languages. We have to promote, we have to ask our students to write. It started at kindergarten with little words and moving to. Just to conclude, because they give me 20 minutes and I want to be exact in the time, something like I think is nice to share with you. Here on the right side, you have the cover of the book of Albert Camus. The book was called Cher Monsieur Germain. Je parle français aussi. Why I wrote this in the slide? Because Albert Camus, he was a French writer born in Algeria. And after receiving the Nobel Prize for Literature long ago, he wrote a handwriting letter. It was in 1957. And he wrote to his elementary school teacher at the Lycée Louis Germain, thanking him for believing in him and when no one else did. And he wrote, "Without you, none of this would be happen, without the teacher, without the school." And why I choose this book and this idea for you to conclude my presentation, because I strongly believe that we teachers have to empower students. We have the magic tool to empower students, equipping them with tools tools and resources to believe in themselves and promote creativity by writing and rewriting about their feelings, ideas, and put it on a paper, which I think is the best way to move the brain and start promoting critical thinking people. Just one book to finish. On the right side is the English version, and in the left side, the Spanish version, which I work with my students at university. Is one of the professors at university. She passed away, Bell Hooks. I love it. I love her. And I propose you to read it because she reinforced the idea of teaching critical thinking. And the way to teach critical thinking is with the power of the pencil, with the power of the pen, to write our ideas, to share our ideas, and then move to the floor. This is my general idea. I mean, more theoretical, but what I propose is it makes sense to write by hand. It makes sense to remove computers a little bit for classrooms, not the whole day, but look for spaces where the brain, the heart, is connected to what we want to say, how we want to learn the language. Because if not, it's the computer who does everything for us. This is all for me today. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Shukran. Gracias.